This is a new bow I'd like to show you. It's called the Cyclops. It's a shoot-through riser, which means the arrow goes straight through the middle. There's no left or right-handed version of this, and it's a new trainer or leisure style bow. It's an entry-level bow, really good for people that might need to share bows, clubs or schools that are giving lessons, families even that need one bow between a couple of people. Because there's no left and right-handed version, it makes it very simple. So you're probably used to the conventional wooden type trainer bows or even plastic bows of similar style, but none of them have got this shoot through centre section on the riser. This one's made of metal. It's a good sturdy riser. So I'm going to string it up, show you the detail of this bow and see if it might suit you. Comes in a nice range of colours, as you can see, 5 different ones: red, yellow, black, white and blue. It's a 19-inch long riser, which puts it right in the middle of what you'd choose if you had to have a bow of one size fits all. Although there's no such thing as a one size fits all bow, this is about as close as you're going to get. Smaller children are still going to need a smaller bow, from really little kids, about 48 inches, up to a 58-inch bow for children. But for the bigger kids and adults, this is going to be one of those bows that covers a wide range of people. You can get different length limbs. We use the Samick Polaris limbs as the standard for these. They're hard to beat for the price. And the longest Samick Polaris limb, which is marked as a 70-inch limb, will create a 66-inch bow when fitted to this riser. So most adults, unless you've got someone who is extremely large, are going to shoot quite nicely off a 66-inch length bow riser. The smallest limb that fits is going to create a 62-inch bow. So although the limbs are marked as 66, it's going on a smaller riser. It's going to come out at a 62-inch length, which will suit the smaller adults or big children, teenagers. It's almost impossible to know how tall somebody's going to be when they come for a lesson. So this range of sizes is going to cover the vast majority of people. And as I mentioned before, what's really nice about this is that it's made of metal and it's ambidextrous. So although it costs a bit more than a traditional wooden trainer bow, it's rugged, it's going to last a long time. You can't ever see this breaking, almost indestructible. It's got a powder coated finish on. It's quite a nice overall finish with chunky limb bolts at the bottom. So for a attempt at a one size fits all riser, this is exactly the size you would make. The grip's quite small for a large-handed adult. It still suits my hand okay, but it is a bit on the small side. But as I mentioned, it's trying to get a nice happy medium between large children and adults, and it does a nice job of it. So I'm going to string up a 66-inch model, and I'm going to fit it up with one of these arrow rests here that is quite a nifty little shoot-through type rest that's going to fit on the bottom, on the inside bottom of the arrow shelf, to allow the arrow to pass straight through the middle. You can actually shoot this riser with the arrow resting on the riser itself. There's a little groove at the back here, you can see that little cutaway there, where the arrow is designed to rest on that cutaway groove. And it actually finds its way to the centre every time when you draw it back. The only downside with that is it's going to be quite harsh on the fletchings, but there's no reason you couldn't set this bow up with a slightly higher than square knocking point, probably a bit more than normal, so the arrow comes off a little high as it comes through the bow, and hopefully the fletchings will clear at the back as it rolls through. So you've got no worry of wearing out arrow rests, even though you might need to do a bit more fletching maintenance. But if you know how to set a bow up, you could get that to shoot with good fletching clearance, with the arrow not on an arrow rest, just on the riser itself. So that's a really unique feature. Another one of the benefits of this is that from a safety point of view, sometimes with beginners it always happens where the arrow might fall off the side of the bow because it rolls off the arrow rest. For this one, the arrow is always encapsulated inside the bow. There's no way that arrow can shoot anywhere else but towards the target, and it eliminates any risk of the arrow rolling off the side of the bow. So it really is worth considering, especially for training groups or beginners, but also for leisure archers just wanting their first bow to have a bit of fun with, enjoy shooting archery, you'll be able to share this bow around, and yeah, it's looking good. Let's get it strung up. Because of the nature of this bow, with it being a leisure bow, I'm going to fit it with these finger protectors instead of a conventional knocking point. They're a rubberized version of a knocking point. It eliminates the need to have to use a tab or a glove to shoot with. Just makes things so much more convenient and easy to use. A bit tricky to get on the string, so I'm going to pull that up. I'll try and thread this over the string now. But inside each pack you get a few sets, and these are called the String Flex. What are these called? Finger guards from String Flex. And you get a few in a pack, quite low cost, and they're very rubbery, protects your fingers and also acts as a knocking point. As I say, a bit tricky to get on, so what you need, it comes with a pin to help you thread it through. And let's get the top of the string, so we'll start here. So a longer one first. Using this pin, going to thread the long part through first. I need a pair of pliers. So basically just grab hold of the end with these pliers, squeeze the loop down, and with a bit of effort you pull that through the string. There it goes, roll that through. And the top one. Same again. Just a bit of brute force to get that through. And hopefully I've got it the right way around. Let's pin off. And because they're quite tight, they stay in position as well. Just slide this down to the centre serving. And just straighten them up. So we'll get this into a better position in a minute once we've strung the bow. And there you go, there you can create both a combination of a knocking point, where the knock will go in between the gap here, and somewhere nice and soft to put your fingers on the string. Let's get these limbs bolted on. Just a open pocket on the top. Has got edges on it, so it's still secured in there. Push that in. And just do these up finger tight. It's more than enough. Don't try to crunch these bolt down. Just nip it up. The pressure of the limbs when under tension is enough to stop that from being undone. Make sure the limbs are right down into the bottom of the pockets. That was a little bit tight to push in, so I had to make sure it was physically pushed into the bottom. Nip that up there. Just getting the bow strung. So, top loop over the top of the bow. Bottom loop just fits snugly over the bottom. Come on we go. There we go. And you must use a stringer. Don't try to bend it round your legs or any other method. Just get a low-cost, simple stringer. Very safe, fast, and easy to do. A large bit of the stringer goes over the top limb, pouch over the bottom, when you string a bow, you always make sure that the stringer is in the top third of the limb. You don't want to try and bend a limb with it right down at the bottom, it's going to break the limb. So slide it up towards the top third. Foot on the bottom of the stringer, raise the bow till it grips, and slide the string up to the top. Always make sure the string is in the limb tips properly. It's not half hanging off one end or the other. There. I've just basically strung the bow, but nothing's ready to shoot yet. I'm going to use the arrow rest. I think overall that's going to be a better option. They are going to wear out and they do break occasionally, but it's a really well made one, this one, and it suits the bow perfectly. So just double-sided tape. Stick that in the middle, line it up nice and straight. Easy. Now the arrow, those finger guards I put on obviously need adjusting, they're not in the right place. So I'm just going to slide these down. You can use a bow square to do this if you like, but always the arrow should be slightly above 90 degrees to the bowstring. So I'm just going to use my eye there to gauge that. Slide these down, and there it's created a knocking point and a nice soft finger guard on the string. If they do move, I mean they're pretty tight, but if they do move, you could put some serving or a bit of electrical tape on the string top and bottom just to prevent them from sliding down. But perfectly good knocking point and finger guard all rolled into one. Really good. Also see what I've done with the arrow, you might not have noticed. You're going to need to shoot this bow with the cock fletching pointing upwards. So instead of the conventional way where the cock fletching points to the left for a recurve bow, you might need to twist the nocks around on your arrow. So the index fletching, which might be the correct term, but I always still call it a cock fletching, points to the top. And that way the two bottom fletchings here are going to smoothly go over the top of the riser with minimal fletching damage there. And there we are, ready to shoot. Not a bad looking bow. So here we have it, a very elegant alternative to the conventional leisure or trainer bows that you've seen before, with the obvious notable improvement, that shoot through riser section there. Something really nice about that shoot through riser. Frame the target nicely with it, no longer have to worry about left or right handed archers. Pass this around the family and friends, and no doubt they'll be able to enjoy shooting it as well. Failed to mention earlier that it's also tapped for stabilizers. It's got a standard thread on there. You can fit sights on the side of the bow. So yeah, really excellent bow, I like it a lot.